Welcome back. Now, Wednesdays are usually for relationships and marriage counseling on the show. Oyindamola Soderu is a marriage counselor and a graduate of communication from the University of Lagos. Today, we're looking at, she's going to be helping us understand what traffic colors mean and how to improve your relationship with these. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning.
I mean, it's been a great month with you as you've taken us through various aspects of managing relationships and handling them. But traffic colors, what we know of traffic colors are green, amber, and red.
Yes.
And so you're bringing that into a relationship and how that works. So talk to us about traffic colors.
Good morning again, Yemi. What we find really is that people learn visually, you know, with visual aids. So I just wanted to bring in something that every time you see a traffic light, or signal, you would remember. Like you said, red stands for stop, you know, and green, amber says pause, and green says it's okay to go ahead. And we find out that a lot of people suffer rejection. That's the core thing we're looking at today in relationships. You hear people say things like, nobody says yes to me, or, you know, every time I ask a lady out, she says no, or, you know, other ways. So what happens is people mistake the cues. For example, if somebody is sending you red signals, everything, maybe she's been abrupt, always been sarcastic, hardly picking up your calls, she's not telling you to try harder. She's saying stop.
Right.
I don't appreciate these advances, because sometimes when people see the stop sign, they think it means try harder. And you know, sometimes a lot of people send conflicting signals. You know, we call it stop it, I like it. They're showing you the amber light. You don't know if they're saying go on or stop,
Exactly.
you know? So it's like, we need to understand these things. So when somebody is like putting you in the friend zone with the amber light, pause. Don't start buying them gifts. Don't buy properties together or in there. You know, pause and find out, is this person saying let's go ahead, or is this person saying move back? Because you find out that a lot of times ladies start taking lunch to the man in the office, they keep texting him, and then one day he brings his wedding invitation card. And she's like, but I thought we were dating.
Yeah, so, but it seems like these issues are on both sides.
Yeah.
So on the side of the person giving signals, so whether it's stop, or whether it's amber, or whether it's green, there needs to be, it feels like there needs to be clear communication. And then on the side of the person who is receiving, that I think that it's also fair to the person to communicate very clearly what it is. Because sometimes, especially in the amber light zone,
friend zone.
Usually what happens is the person giving that signal also is not clear about what their own intentions are.
Well, like you said, it's a lot of communication. You have to ask at every stage, what are we doing exactly? You know, because people assume a lot. And some people have said that that's the lowest form of intelligence. Don't assume this person is as into you as you are into them. I've handled 3, 4, 5 counseling cases where at the end of the day, by the time we interview the person, you find out the person is in a relationship on his own. Just because someone picked your calls or smiled at you, you just suddenly feel like, oh, I'm engaged. And you're like, what's going on? So a lot of times you need to ask people bold-facedly, what are we doing here? Why are you always calling me? Why are you always picking me up from work? Because what happens is, if you even encourage these things, the person is preventing the real people who are interested in you from possibly approaching you. So, you know, sometimes you need to ask boldly, what exactly are we doing
here? So
in
a situation where, you know, sometimes I've heard situations where a lady likes the attention she's getting, even though she doesn't intend to take this further. So she's giving a green signal, or she's giving some kind of signals, which is encouraging the guy, because maybe she's getting gifts from him, or he's picking her up from work, like you said, so it's a long distance, and this is a free ride, air-conditioned car. I might as well enjoy it while it lasts, and a few other things like that, even though it's a selfish intention, and she knows that she doesn't intend to take it any further, go into a relationship or into marriage or anything like that, but the guy doesn't know. So if you're a guy in that kind of situation, how do you approach it? Do you ask very clearly where we're going with this?
You see, you need to, that's what we just said, you need to ask clearly. Don't be afraid of being rejected at the end of the day, because that would help you know on time where to go. Because, you know, it's not just the red, green, and amber. On the other side of the traffic light, you see the walk signal. So, you know, if somebody just jumps, say, the red light, you're going to hit a pedestrian who has been given the go-ahead to walk. Right. And that's like preventing other people from approaching this person and everything, you know. So like you're causing a lot of confusion. And you need to clarify this thing. I pick you every day. I like you. Feelings are beginning to grow here. Are you reciprocating these feelings? Is there any possibility? You know, once you ask these questions, you save yourself a lot of heartache, because emotions don't take permissions to grow.
Exactly.
They just begin to grow on their own. Sometimes, even when you think you have it all together in your head, you find out that you're beginning to like the person a lot more than you bargained for as you spend time together.
Yeah, what advice would you give to people who, again, are on the receiving end of attention? So if the signal I'm giving should be red, should I also be clear in my communication to the other party? Because sometimes, you know, especially in, you know, our environment where we are, people don't express themselves very clearly. So they don't want something, but they're not saying it. And then also, they want something, you know, they want to give a green light, but they're a little bit afraid to, maybe trust issues and all of that. So if I'm on that end of the spectrum, how do I communicate?
Well, I think you just have to open your mouth and say what your intentions are, because, I mean, I thank God for programs like this. The more people begin to get an awareness of the fact that it's okay to speak up, you know, the more they begin to do things differently. We'll begin to see different relationship results than we're currently getting. Open your mouth and say, look, I like this attention, or I don't want this attention. Don't confuse anybody, and don't leave them in the amber friendship zone for too long. You must remember that, one, it's a honor that anybody's even showing interest in you. Two, they deserve the dignity of knowing whether you're interested in or not on time, so that they can, you know, take care of their own emotions too and their mental health.
That's really, really important.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Oyinda, for joining us this morning and talking about these issues. Somebody's giving you a red light. It means stop. Essentially, that's what it means. It doesn't mean
you don't
go
get
ahead.
A sexual harassment suit. Stop.
Exactly. So just put a stop to it. And green light is also a good thing if you're interested in that as well. Thank you so much.